We are halfway through the season. The Chicago Cubs right now sit atop the NL Central. We got so much to review, so much to talk about, and I'm not alone today. I got my brother in arms, LB Papa, my homie Tyrone in the building. You already know what we finna do. First, we got to hit you with that intro. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome in, everybody, to the number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. Also, the official voice of the Chicago Cub fan right here on Chi-Town Sports Central, Chicago Cubs Central. I am your host, Mike Jones, and I am joined by none other than my brother, my main man, Tyrone. What's good, brother?
What's going on, bro? How you feeling today, man? Appreciate you
Oh,
having me.
man. As always, brother, like I said, I had to call in the reinforcements. You can't do a state of the team address. You know what I'm saying? Where you got to assess what the first half looked like and talk about expectations for the second half, and not had a homie come on and talk about it. You've been right there with me, bro, texting back and forth since game one. We've been locked into this season, bro. Texting back and forth like, yeah, bro, that didn't look too good. Remember how we felt? I just want to take a second just to think about how we felt after the first game in Japan.
You know me. They call it doing too much, or they call it over exaggeration. But I definitely was like, man, I don't know why they got us in Tokyo. I don't know why they got us doing this in front of all the hoes. 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, this is crazy. Like, we getting merch and we
Crazy.
and we getting spanked. You know what
Oh
I'm
my
saying?
gosh.
So I definitely
Yes,
thought
sir.
I definitely thought it was gonna be the same thing as last year. But thank God, baseball is a 100 game plus type of sport,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying. You ain't gonna live and die by 2 games. But yeah, bro, from that to where we at right now, man, I couldn't see it, but I'm definitely glad we here though.
Absolutely, absolutely. The Chicago Cubs right now sit atop the Central Division, even with the Brewers and their hot streak. The Chicago Cubs have remained on top of the Central Division, handling business. Their record right now is a 57-39 for the season. Um, and the Chicago Cubs basically have just been taking care of business, man. I've often said on this show, if you would have told me that you were going to lose Shota Imanaga for a month and a half, if you would have told me that you were going to lose Justin Steele for the season, if you would have told me that you would have had, Ben Brown be sent down to AAA again, where he still has not pitched a game for AAA yet. If you would have told me all these different things were going to happen. We would lose Miguel Amaya for an extended amount of time. That Ian Happ would have an injury stint. That Matt Shaw actually would not pan out as the third baseman for this team. If you would have told me all these different things, I would have told you the Chicago Cubs probably would have been in third place right now at this point in the season. But again, just like you said, you got to play the games in order to find out what happens. And we've had some surprises, we've had some constants, we've had some really, really, really good things going on with the team this year. But the first part of this that I want to talk about is, what do you think, or what do you believe has been the biggest key to the Cubs' success so far in 2025?
I feel like the biggest thing is their hitting. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
feel like their hitting, and most importantly, being able to draw walks.
Yeah.
We are top five in drawing walks. We are fifth behind the Yankees, the Dodgers, Arizona, and San Francisco. And I feel like staying patient. You know what I'm saying? When you stay patient, that leads on to your being able to hit the ball well. So we really
Oh, we got Kev in the building too. My bad. Kev joining in. My brother, my brother.
My bad, Joe. I completely lost track of time. I got on socks gear and everything, but they're gonna be all right.
Yo, hey, listen, Chicago Cubs Central, you guys are no stranger to the homie Big Kev, the original host of Chicago Cubs Central, still the man, the myth, the legend. My brother, what's up, Kev?
What's up, bro? My bad, bro. I'm grilling. I'm doing all types of stuff right now, so it's my
You
bad,
all
bro.
good? You all good, man?
Good to
I'm happy
see.
you had a moment to join in, man. Hey, Kev, I know you've seen him on with me, but my homie Tyrone, my brother Tyrone, Kev,
Nice,
Tyrone, Kev.
See,
nice
I
to
was
meet you.
late. I was late, so you had to call Tyrone. Huh? My bad, bro. That's the last time I'm gonna do that, bro. That's
No,
my
you
fault.
good, bro. You
they
ain't
hit
gonna
they
be the
hit me with
last
the
time I hear that.
Hey, I
they
see you
hit
with
me
the
with the
Led
Mike
Zeppelin.
Jones too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They probably shout the whole phone number out to you too. Huh?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, Tyrone, you were talking about the biggest key to the success for the Chicago Cubs so far this season. You were talking about the walks.
Yeah, I was talking about us being top five and being able to draw walks. I feel like that's a definitely key thing in being able to draw a lot of runs. And another thing I feel like has been key for us this season is being able to steal bases at a high rate. We top
Yeah,
three in the MLB in stealing bases, and I feel like once you get on base and that man go automatically gonna go to second base, that just make things a lot of things more easier and put us in a better position to score runs. And how we've been with make drawing runs and things like that. So I feel like those two things are the biggest key into why we successful right now.
absolutely, absolutely. Kev, did you have you have any thoughts on what you think is some of our biggest keys to success in the beginning of 2025?
I feel like coaching is settled in. Last season looked
Yeah,
like the head seemed like the manager was like trying to get his feel. Like he left the rival to come to the Cubs. And then it's like, oh man, like I'm with the wrong side right here. I got to figure these things out and get to my type of team out here versus what's going on. Because you see what the Brewers doing right now, like they keeping up. So like I feel like
yeah,
coaching matters. Seiya Suzuki stepping up, playing way better than I've ever seen him play. That matters. The starting pitching when it is starting pitching, like by the time they get to the end of that starting rotation, it gets a little bit shaky. But the starting pitching has been solid. Timely hitting, what my man was just saying with stolen bases, like this team is doing all the little things and all the big things at different times. So from what I've been seeing all year, man, this start has been based on them also mainly getting a what was his name, Bone Crusher. They ain't never scared, bro. This team is
yeah.
never scared. Like when they face against anybody, they're not coming out there shaky at all, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the confidence of the Chicago Cubs team. A big part of that confidence, and it was documented. Bruce Levine, the reporter for the Chicago Cubs, the beat writer, also works for Marquee, also is constantly, talking Chicago Cubs. Make sure you guys follow him on social media. He definitely brought up the fact that Kyle Tucker is a huge part of what the Cubs have been doing this year as far as a bull as far as a team in general, as far as confidence, as far as swag, as far as how they carry themselves. Like they expect to be winners, they expect to win games, they expect to be in games and compete at the highest level. And this is a confidence we haven't seen really since 2017 2018 with these Chicago Cubs. I feel like they lost something after parting ways with John Lester, after parting ways with a lot of the guys from the team that won the World Series, and I feel like they lost something there. But the Chicago Cubs got a different type of swagger this season, and it just feels different for the team. For me, I love team chemistry. I love that these guys all went out on a boat on one of their off days and was literally out there just kicking it, man. Like I love that Kyle Tucker has brought camaraderie to these guys. I love what Justin Turner brings to the table. Out when he's not playing, but just like a presence in the dugout, somebody to calm down, PCA and really like mentor him, our budding young superstar. And then again, like I said, Kyle Tucker adds something that Dansby Swanson don't have. Like Dansby Swanson is, they call him Lieutenant Dans. Like he's like a stickler, like for the details. Kyle Tucker is a swag type of dude. Like, man, we finna go out here, we finna bust their ass, man. We finna win. And they do. They do. And I love the team chemistry. I love the feel of this team. I love the brotherhood between Seiya Suzuki and PCA. I feel like all of that plays into what you're seeing right now from this team. Colin Ray and Matthew Boyd are close friends. So many different guys on this team, and you see the joy when they take the field together and when they play together. And I feel like we've seen so much of that this season. It's really been fun to watch.
I agree with you,
So
man.
yeah, yeah. Did you have anything else to add, guys?
No, I agree. Team chemistry matters. When you see the
Yeah,
Sox hat, y'all know I'm a Sox fan first, but I'm one of those weirdos from Chicago that watch both teams. I've grown up watching both Chicago Cubs and White Sox. I never truly bought into the whole I hate the Cubs, I hate the White Sox. It just never really. I'm a Chicago fan. I'm a Chicagoan, so I can't root against Chicago. It just doesn't make sense to me. But when it comes down to seeing that team chemistry, bro, like you didn't see that the last 2 or 3 seasons on the South Side, and that's the reason why teams that were supposed to be contenders didn't pan out. The team that had Tim Anderson, and it had my boy Eloy Jimenez, and it had all of them. They were all supposed to be
yeah,
really, really good, and it didn't really work out because they didn't have team chemistry, and coaching didn't really step in and teach them team chemistry, and the ownership didn't. You could tell with the Chicago Cubs, they're trying to win. They're trying to win right now. It's two teams in Chicago that's trying to win right now: Cubs and the Bears. The Bears,
yeah.
we're gonna see what happens with them. We know the Bulls ain't trying to win. I'm hoping the Chicago White Sox avoid 100 wins, 100 losses. I'm sorry, for the first time in three
Hmm.
years. They can do it if they play 500 baseball for the rest of the season, and that's a big ask. The Cubs are trying to win the World Series. The very least, they're trying to win some playoff series, and you can. That all starts with how your players get along with one another. And I think the glue to all of that is Pete Crow Armstrong. He's a young guy who's not being a diva. I've been watching a lot of Ted Lasso lately, and there's a character on Ted Lasso who's very gifted, very talented, much like PCA, and but he's a diva. He's like, "Oh, I'm the man." You know how soccer is different. Like, I'm the man. You got to pay attention to me. You got to focus on me. But he doesn't have that mentality. They all going out there and playing together as a team, and I love to see what they're doing for real, for real.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anything else for you from you, Tyrone, on that one?
Yeah, y'all hit the nail on the head, man. The chemistry has been insane. I don't know if you remember, I went to this little event that they all had before the season started. They had like a
I
they
do.
revealing they was revealing the little light blue jerseys. They had a little
Yeah,
party, and some of the club players were there. They all came together as one. And I saw PCA. I saw all of them. I met my man Sammy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So they all came there together. You could tell like it wasn't like fake or fabricated. Like there's something that was genuine. They actually like playing with one another, and like y'all said, Ad and Kyle Tucker just reassured them that they were just like playing. They were trying to be for real and be contenders, and that's what they've been doing this whole season.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with that in mind, with the Chicago Cubs record of 57 and 39, first in the Central, a game ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers right now. One thing you had to ask yourself is how sustainable is the performance that they did in the first half? Because you look at the way the Chicago Cubs won these games, and there were some that were home runs. Like, I mean, they just hit the cover off the ball. I mean, they beat you. The guys hit 4, 5, 6, 7 home runs in a game. Or there was also the grinded out games where pitching really carried them through the game. Um, I mean, like, what are you guys' thoughts on that? What do you think about it? How is it sustainable for them, or is it conceivable to think that they'll continue to be able to do this in the second half? What do you think, Tyrone?
I think they can. I read somewhere where they said we had one of the most easiest strength of schedules remaining. Um,
Hmm.
I feel like if we remain a good disciplined team at the plate, I feel like if we get on base and we have a high steal rate and we add pieces at the trade deadline, I feel like the sky's the limit. I feel like we're not even getting to the gear that we could potentially get to. I feel like it's another gear that we can get to if we add those pieces and keep on doing what we're doing right now. So, baseball, is a tricky sport. Anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like the gear that we can get to get in the playoffs and actually be a good team to be reckoned with hasn't even been met with yet. So I feel like it'd be sustainable, and we have a coach that has learned from what he did last year to now, and it's like he knows how to coach these budding stars and current stars that we have right now. So I think we could do that for real.
What you think, Kev?
I don't want to see them sustain. I want to see them exceed, like
There you
excel,
go.
like go beyond that. Being one game ahead of the Brewers is like, especially when they had a 6-7 game lead to coming into June. They can't just sustain this. I do not want to see the Chicago Cubs with a 1 game lead for the rest of the season. I want to see them increase the lead, do better. This team is good enough to excel, bro. Like they're good enough to do better than just allow a team to creep up, because we can't leave out St. Louis as well, because they always figure out a way to become a part of the conversation come August and September.
Mm-hmm.
We know how this
Yeah.
NL Central goes. So I shout out to you, Tyrone, LB Papa. Is that the little Big Papa?
Both of them.
Nah,
Both of them. We go by
nah,
both of them.
yeah, yeah,
We go by
man.
both of them.
But the reality is, sustainability is possible, obviously, but they got to do better than sustain. The Chicago Cubs cannot rest on their laurels. We saw what happened a couple of seasons ago when Arizona hawked them down and took over, and the Chicago Cubs couldn't get to the playoffs because Arizona took over at the end of the season and took that wild card spot. I'm not trying to go through that experience again. I want to see this team increase their lead in the division and dominate. You can't just whoop up on the LA Dodgers of the world and the New York Yankees of the world and allow the Brewers to be sitting right there on your coattails, waiting to overtake you in September, October. I mean, August, September. So I want to see these guys do much better. I don't like the fact that they let these guys come. I mean, come on now, Andrew Vaughn. You see, I'm a Chicago White Sox fan, so they let Andrew Vaughn come in and help them go on a 6-7 game winning streak. Like, what are we doing here? Chicago Cubs, go out there, win these games in late innings. Go out there, dominate pitching, hit home runs when you need to. Don't just rest on the fact that you started off strong and you're like first, second, third in several different categories throughout the season. The second half is big for this team, and they got to put their foot on these guys next. When they play when they play the division, that's when we're gonna see what the Cubs are really about. They already played them early in the season. They got to play them again. They got to play St. Louis again. They got to play Pirates. They got to play Cincinnati. And they got to play the Brewers. If you take 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4 against all these teams, you win the division going away.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I know that I completely agree with what both of y'all are saying. I think it is sustainable, but I also do want to see the Chicago Cubs hit that fifth gear. A big piece of that hitting that fifth gear is Kyle Tucker, who has not hit a homer in the last almost month. So like I said, he is still sitting at 17 home runs. Seiya Suzuki and PCA have passed him far and away. And he's allowed people like Dansby Swanson, Michael Bush to pass him, Dansby Swanson to catch up to him. Again, he's been a good hitter, but he can be a great hitter. And part of him being a great hitter is catching up to that fastball and figuring out that fastball and when it's coming and his timing and hitting the cover off the baseball. The stats and StatsCast would say that he's hitting to a little bit of a bad luck, but at the same time, Kyle Tucker is still far and away the best player on this team. Like I said, and so in order for we go as far as he goes, like I said, and that's no slight to PCA. PCA still got some stuff to learn though about plate patience. He's starting to show it. He's starting to figure it out, especially since we heard he's been sitting in on Kyle Tucker's batting practices. But he still needs to learn that plate discipline that Kyle Tucker has, where he's willing to draw the walks if he's not going to swing at stuff outside the zone. He's very patient and he's very willing to take a walk, even though he's a slugger and he wants to drive in the RBIs. He's more willing to take the walk and just add another run at being able to be on base. I look at things that could potentially derail the Cubs. Injuries to me, I know everybody goes through injuries. Injuries to me is probably number one. One A is not getting your guys this time. So I was thinking about this, y'all. When I joined this channel late last year, during the winter time, we began immediately talking about who's coming to the Cubs, what the Cubs gonna do, what the Cubs gonna do, who's gonna be coming, and literally I did so many different speculation episodes on the other channel just talking about who could potentially be coming to the Cubs, who could be signing with the Cubs. I think the biggest thing standing in the Cubs' way, or what could derail the Cubs, is not adding on, not getting the pieces that you know that you need. And for that, you're going to have to give up some of these prospects that you really like. James Triantos, the Jaguar Kevin Alcantara. You may even have to give up Owen Casey if the deal is right. But you better be getting the ace for Owen Casey if you're going to trade for him. It better be an ace or a dude that's going to give you a bunch more home runs.
But that's why you saw the
Um,
Cubs go out and do what they did in day one of the draft. I haven't paid attention to day two yet, but day one
yeah,
of the draft, they went and grabbed some young prospects,
yep,
outfielders, to try to make sure that hey, we got people waiting in the wings, waiting in the wings. We already got people in the
yeah,
wings. Now we got the wings because they're gonna
yep,
have to trade somebody. The Cubs cannot rest on their laurels, bro. They cannot sit back and wait and play the wait and see game. You need another ace. You need to short that bullpen a little bit, and you need another bat in that lineup that's gonna push some of the better hitters down further in the lineup, batting sixth, seventh, eighth, or ninth, put somebody in that fifth or sixth spot, and then scare the rest of the league, bro. Like when you
yeah.
look at the teams that are the best teams in the league, they have peak killers up and down in terms of being able to hit home runs. You
It's
look at
true.
Detroit, they got hitters up and down that lineup. We already know
Hmm.
what the Dodgers can do. We already know what the Yankees can do. The Mets also up and down that
Yep.
lineup. So like
And the
I don't
Phillies.
think
Don't forget the Phillies.
right. So when you're looking at these teams, like you can't just be like, oh, Sayers having a great year, PCA is having a great year, Tucker's having a great year. We're good. No, you're not. You're not. You need somebody else right there in that lineup, and as well as a starting pitcher. It doesn't have to be like an ace. It could be like the ace of hearts. You ain't got to be the ace of spades, but you need maybe an ace of hearts out there.
I like that. I like that. What's some stuff that y'all think might be able to derail the Cubs in the second half if they don't address them?
I think that you just be wasting your talent that you got right now. I mean, we have one of the top farm prospects for a reason. You know what I'm saying? We've been bad for years to be in the position that we are in right now. So to not get somebody that can help us push us over the to the playoff push will be like a disservice, like a smack in the face. So I agree with y'all. You know what I'm saying? We got the prospects. We're gonna have to unload some to get some pitchers and some more strength in the batting lineup. So we gotta use our farm system, get key guys. Don't get don't get all taxed up. Don't let us tax us too crazy. But we gotta use what we have to get better people to push us to the playoff push though.
Absolutely, absolutely. Kev gonna be right back. He had to go check the grill real quick, but no, I completely agree with you. Like I said, it's one of those things where you can't get so hung up on what the potential could be, and a big piece of that's probably actually changing the Cubs' mind on how Jed is going to approach this is the fact that for one thing he has to go get a third baseman. Why do you have to go get a third baseman? Because you didn't get the money because Tom Ricketts did not allow you to spend the money to sign Alex Bregman outright in the offseason. Had he done that, we wouldn't even be in this situation with Matt Shaw and probably would have probably won another 5+ games, 5 or 6 games. Because if you figure in Alex Bregman into the lineup, that's pushing Ian Happ probably back. That's pushing Seiya Suzuki back, PCA back. All those guys aren't in the spots that they're in right now, and in the batting order, and you just have more of an opportunity for guys to hit up against. It's like you guys said, you added just another killer to that lineup, to that batting order that's going to allow you to demolish these pitching staffs and really put the pressure on these pitching staffs. And the thing I like about the Cubs batting order right now is they have multiple weapons, multiple tools. They do have the guys for the slug. But they also have the guys that'll get the base hits, the doubles. They got the guys that'll take their walks. They got the guys that'll do these type of things, the necessary things. It's not just all about if we don't hit the home run ball, we gonna lose. I really feel like that's where the Mets and the Yankees struggle, and kind of the Phillies too. But and then the Dodgers are kind of the other way. The Dodgers have the potential to get you with a first base or a base hit or a double, and then sometimes even a triple. But at the same time, they also can't hit the home run as well. So you look at these squads like that. I still think the most complete squad in the league this year, and it's showing by their record, is the Detroit Tigers. Like I said, because it's like you guys said earlier, they have everything. They got an ace. They got the players around him. Guys are overperforming their contracts. And they're just playing out of their mind right now. Now, can they keep it up in the second half of the season? We'll see, because the Mariners are on their heels and they trying to add pieces too. So yeah, I just think that it will be a good thing for the Chicago Cubs to, like you said, not rest on their laurels, but to add in and be all in, which is from every single indication we've gotten. I don't know whether you listen to 670 The Score, Marquee Network, this channel here, or any of the other YouTube podcasts out there. We all have heard the same thing. The Chicago Cubs and Jed Hoyer are in on making a deal, making multiple deals. The cool part, though, and what we're hearing is that Jed isn't just focused on this year, though, with the deals he's going to make. It's deals for long term, which I like that, because if you're going to give up somebody like a Owen Casey, who will be a superstar probably in this league, you want to make sure you get a piece that's going to be here long term. It's not just, a rental, and you got to give up your best prospect for a rental. It's going to be, no, we're signing these guys to 2-3 year deals. They're going to be Cubs for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I agree. You know what I'm saying? And you have to have that forward thinking. That's how the good teams stay good. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, us being cheap, it has hindered us, and we in this position right now where we have to get a third baseman, probably have to tax and pay a tax to do so. So, um, we just have to, like you said, use the position, the process that we have, and actually get key players, and not just say it in the media, actually really do it. And I
Yeah.
feel like this is the year that we're gonna actually do it. And Jed, I feel like Jed gonna do it. Jed been having a good year. You know what I'm saying? So I just hope he
Yeah.
continue to do his thing. You know what I'm saying? So
It's a contract year for Jay, right?
on world,
Yep. Yep.
that money on the line.
Yep. Yep. Money, but and for me, I was talking to my boss today. Shout out to Terry. I was talking to my boss today, and I was telling him, I was like, it for Jed, I don't even think it's about the money, because he's got millions over. He's been in multiple organizations. He's got millions over. For him, he's gonna want more power and more say over the money spent,
He'll also
because
want more money.
oh, I mean, yeah, of course, he's gonna want more money. Like I said, especially if he takes this team to where he promised, where he promised Tom Ricketts he was gonna take him, which was, if you let me start this rebuild, trade off Bryant, Rizzo, and Baez, I promise to get you to the World Series. So that's an agreement between them. So, like I said, but at the same time, he's going to want more say over the money spent by the team, which I also think will be a good thing, because he was really pissed. I don't know if y'all watched that interview, but when Alex Bregman chose to go to the Red Sox, when Kirby Yates chose to go to the Dodgers, those were two trades. Two signings he was really pissed about. He wanted both of those guys to be a part of the Cubs this year, but Ricketts was unwilling at the time to spend the money that it took to go up on years for Kirby Yates and to go up on dollars for Alex Bregman, in order to make sure those guys were Chicago Cubs. So now that we've seen the first half of this season and what the Chicago Cubs are, now Ricketts is more willing to allow Jed to spend the money. The reports are there's an open checkbook, and like I said, and Jed is and Jed is trying his hardest to make the moves possible and get the trades done in order to ensure the Chicago Cubs are playing in October, man. Um,
Agreed.
what I wanted to ask you guys next is, who is your first half MVP for this season?
Ooh.
You got a lot to choose
Listen.
from.
It could have been Kyle Tucker. He started off super hot.
Yeah,
He had a bunch of multi-homer games. He was on fire. It could be Saya. It could be Saya, because like this dude ain't played like this since I've been watching him. But I'm going with my man's. You know who it's PCA for me, bro. I'm going with my boy PCA. It's low hanging fruit for some of you guys, but for me, I've been watching this kid from the beginning, and to have the stolen bases, to have the home run, to have the timely hitting, and the
yeah,
defense that this kid plays over in center field. He supplanted whatever Luis Robert Jr. was thinking he was going to be doing at center field over on the South Side in terms of being the best center fielder in the city. I got to go with PCA as the guy, bro. And it could have been Shota if he didn't get hurt. He's a really
yeah,
good pitcher, and he goes out there and he dominates. Look at how he did Aaron Judge yesterday. He had Aaron Judge looking like a complete rookie out there on at the plate. So, but I'm going PCA. I know it's the easy choice. I know a lot of people are going to pick him in the comments, but I'm going PCA. That's my man's right there.
What about you, Tyrone?
Yeah, I was gonna say PCA, but if I had to say somebody else, I'll say uh I'll say the coach, Craig Counsell.
Good one. Good choice.
I feel like he has I feel like he knows it's repping time now. Cause I feel like, last year he was like kind of on eggshells, trying to, be all like the cool person. This year it's about straight business. If
Yeah.
you're not playing well, you getting cut. Like, you saw what we did with that third baseman earlier this year. Like he had a couple bad
Yeah.
games and we ain't seen him since. You know
Mm.
what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like he's not afraid to change the lineup. He told Ian Happ, "All right, you ain't doing too good right now. Let's put Michael Bush in there." You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
he's not afraid to switch things up and be a manager. And I feel like if I didn't have a player to pick, I was gonna pick him. Man, he's been doing a great job so far in trying to get us to the playoffs. So shout out Craig Cowles. So keep on doing your thing, player. So for
Yeah,
real.
no doubt. I love both of you guys' picks. I love Craig Counsell because, like you said, I felt like last year he was still trying to get a feel for the team, and I feel like that him trying to create those relationships and those bonds. And he admittedly, after the season, did not have a good relationship with Seiya Suzuki that actually hindered Seiya's play on the field. And then we heard about the trade for Kyle Tucker, and we're like, oh man, we like Seiya is good as gone. Who would
Hmm.
have thought that Seiya Suzuki would have turned it around like this?
I know I didn't. I know I didn't.
And like you said, Craig Counsell is a huge part of that, man. He is by far mended his relationship with Seiya Suzuki. Literally, even learned a little bit of Japanese. You know what I'm saying, to be able to speak to him a little bit more, be able to talk to him a little bit more, open himself up, make himself a little bit more personable to him. And he smoothed things over with Kyle Tucker and bringing him in, and they talked to Seiya, and they made Seiya, they let Seiya know you're still an important part of piece of this team. Like, we're not trading you, we're not letting you go, we're not moving you off this contract. Like, you finna be here, and you gonna love hitting behind Kyle Tucker, and he does, and does. Um, I love your pick, Kev. Obviously, for obvious reasons. PCA reminds me of what Joakim Noah meant to the Chicago Bulls and the city of Chicago. When you talk about somebody that got it out the mud, that work hard and outwork everybody else, and is just spectacular, and like represents, like when you put that, when you see Chicago on across a jersey, you just think hard work. You think hard work. Grinding for and earning every single thing that you get. And that's what PCA represents to me. If you look at what he's done and how he's went from season to season and how he's gotten so much better from last year to this year, and the adjustments at the plate, the defense has always been there. But for me, I love the adjustments at the plate that PCA has made, how he's continued to grow as a player, and then how he, like you guys said, how he's handling this budding superstardom where you're always talked about every single day, where MLB Network, ESPN, Fox, everybody's always talking about you. Whenever they do the Sunday night games, PCA is the one that gets mic'd up on the field. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff, and he's handling it well. It's not going to his head. The kid himself, he's not feeling himself or smelling himself. Like, he really wants to just be a part of a team that plays baseball. This kid looked like he could be a superstar of the league, but also be out there in the sandlot. You know what I'm saying? Playing with Benny and the boys. Like, he just loved the game of baseball, and he plays it the right way, and he holds himself accountable. There's a lot of superstars that you see that don't hold themselves accountable. It's always everybody else's fault when they make a mistake or when they mess up. But for PCA, when he strike out, when he swing at something outside the zone, or if he don't come through and get you to hit the base hit or the home run that you need, like, he's visibly pissed at himself about that. And I like that he's holding himself accountable. And I like, again, back to Craig, that Craig's letting PCA be PCA. He's not trying to change him or make him fit some type of mold, but he literally letting him be who he is. And I think those are things you're going to see really coming to fruition in part 2 of the season. I would say for me, I want to go pitching since one went manager and one went obviously superstar player. I'm going pitching. Got to talk about Matthew Boyd, man. them, like I said, for somebody that's coming back from his second Tommy John surgery and all that Matthew Boyd has been able to accomplish this season, literally, especially after this last game against the Yankees, really putting himself into the conversation of Cy Young. I feel like
No,
I
for
feel like if
real.
the Cubs have anybody that could be in that Cy Young conversation, you got to look at Matthew Boyd, All-Star this season. Literally, like I said, just putting the team on his back and coming out and figuring out how to get out, whether it's through strikeouts, whether it's through soft contact, not giving up a bunch of home runs, and just putting on that Chicago Cub jersey and going out there and performing. What do you guys think about Matthew Boyd?
I mean, do you mind me taking this one, Big T?
No, go ahead, bro.
He's my surprise player of the season. That was the next question. Like, who
Okay.
surprised me the most this season? It was gonna be Saya, but Matthew Boyd was like, "Hey, fam, do you see what I'm on? Like, bro, 10-3, 8 and
Yep.
0 at the crib,
Yep.
2.21 ERA at the crib. My man
Yeah.
is dominant right
Yeah.
now. Dominant, bro. 3 games in July, 20 innings pitched, 12 hits given up, two
Yeah.
runs, 2 of them earned, no home runs, and just 2 walks, and 20 strikeouts.
Yeah.
My man has 102 strikeouts already on the season, bro. So like,
Yeah.
I just I did not I don't even think he expected this. I don't think he expected this. Like his mama didn't expect it. His family didn't expect it. Like his wife looking at him like, "Hey there, big boy. I got something for you. Come back here." So it's one of those
Oh
things,
man.
bro. He getting extra cutty for real, because that dude is on fire. So I like what I've seen from Matthew Boyd. I it's kind of like what Adrian Houser, and I know I'm a Sox fan, so I always keep bringing it back to that. But it's like what Adrian Houser's doing on the South Side to a smaller degree because they losing a lot more games. But he came into to this team, older gentleman. Nobody had expectations, and he's killing right now. So shout out to Matthew
Mm-hmm.
Boyd, man.
For sure. For sure. Go ahead, Tyrone. Who is your person that you think legit surprised you the most? And if you want to comment on Matthew Boyd, you can do that too.
You already know me, man. It was Saya, man. I was calling that man everything but a child of God in January. I'm so serious. Like I had real smoke with bro. You know what I'm saying? You know
Oh
how I
man.
felt. You know how I felt about Saya. You know how I was even my foolish self was even willing to put him in the trade to get Cal Tucker. That's how much I wasn't rocking with Saya. And for him to just to play like he has played, have the most RBIs, he's hitting the home run, he's really accepting the DH role that I thought he was not going to do. And he's really embraced it and really
Way
just took
better
it
than
into
Rafael Devers.
way better. Like he's really embraced that. And I'm shocked because that's all we heard this whole offseason, how he
Yep.
really he was really adamant of not just being the DH, but he accepted the role. He is thriving in the role, and I realized that I really hope he realizes that you can do both. You know what I'm saying? You're a great
Yeah.
hitter. You know what I'm saying? Like you so raw of a hitter that we just want you to focus on that shit. You know what I'm
Oh my
saying? That's not
gosh.
and that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? People get
Not at all.
millions of dollars, or hundreds of millions of dollars for being great hitters. So I'm like I said, Saya, I'm glad that he's accepted his role. Like you said earlier, his relationship chemistry with PCA, they always joking around, you know what I'm saying, doing bro shit, you know what I'm saying,
Yep.
just, you know what I'm saying, having that chemistry as well. So, winning, you know what I'm saying, will make you do that type of stuff, but
Absolutely.
I'm glad that he's come along and embraced the role.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Seiya Suzuki definitely has to be the biggest surprise of this season. I think that when you look at him and what he's done so far as a player and what he's brought to this team, and again, like you said, just all the adversity, all the hearsay of Seiya Suzuki might demand a trade out, or say Suzuki doesn't want to be there if he can't play right field, or he was disheartened, he was upset that the Cubs traded for Kyle Tucker because that's his position, and all of these different things. And then knowing the backstory that him and Craig Counsell wasn't getting along last year. and things like that. I mean, you look at all of that and you see all these different obstacles that he's overcome. You cannot help but be happy for him. He got snubbed from the All-Star game, but that's okay because you
Disrespect.
can't help. Yeah, and I sincerely hope he takes that out in the rest of the league in the second half. 45 home runs, say go for it. Do your thing. Punish them. Punish them. Like I said, because they're I mean, it just makes sense for it to be that way, man. I would say for me, I would say Daniel Palencia has surprised me a lot this
Hell yeah.
season.
Hell yeah.
So Daniel Palencia was somebody. To me, him and Luke Little were two people that I was looking at from that pitching staff that I was really holding Tommy Hotovy, the pitching coach, um, accountable for. Because I'm just like, Tommy, we traded for Danny for a reason. He hits 101 on the radar gun. Why can't y'all figure out how to have this man find his command of the ball? Find his command of the strike zone and get out. He got the heat. He has a Aroldis Chapman type heat. Why can't y'all figure out a way to have him get out? Because he found himself walking people because he couldn't find the strike zone. And I mean, like I said, he has a 2-pitch mix, but it works because that fastball, he just overpowers you with it. There's nothing you can do with that. You can't catch up to that. You're either swinging too slow or you're swinging too fast, and he's blowing it by you. And then he has a curveball that he could drop down on you also. So the fact that Dane Palencia literally wasn't even supposed to be the closer this year. It's supposed to be Porter. It really was supposed to be
Presley.
it really was supposed to be Ryan Presley. Ryan Presley was supposed to be the original closer for this team this year.
Thank God. That nigga, thank
and
God.
and it was supposed to go Danny Palencia, Porter Hodge, and then Ryan Presley as your three guys to close any close games for you. And literally that has been jumbled around so much. Ryan Presley has had down moments where Porter Hodge is taking the lead, and now Porter Hodge is in a down moment. Ryan Presley is finding his way, but the consistent has been Danny Palencia. He's consistently hit 101 on the radar gun, and then at the same time still been able to provide outs in different ways. And like I said, and wherever you put him, whether you got him pitching in the seventh, eighth, or ninth, he has continuously been able to give the Chicago Cubs outs when it counts. And I mean, that's all you can ask for, man. I think what he has about 7 or 8 saves on the season so far.
I
So
think
I
11.
mean, like I said, he's been doing his thing for the Chicago Cubs team. And like I said, I think Daniel Palencia has come through more. I'm sorry, 12 saves for the Cubs on this season. He has a 1.57 ERA, 39 strikeouts, a WHIP of 0.87. So yeah, no, I just think that he has shown up and shown out for the Cubs. What's your thoughts on Danny?
Man, you hear that nail on the coffin. Like that was not on the bingo card this year. For him being the closer, but I'm so glad that he stepped up and took
Yeah.
on that responsibility and really, honed on to his craft. Because like you said, he's always had the talent, he always had the heat, but you got to hone in and find the strike zone and really control your command. And he's worked on that a lot this year, and it's shown. So I'm rocking with him. I like the fire that he displays. When he had Wilson Contreras little here, I like that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like when the ops don't like you. That mean they thinking about you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you know what I'm saying. So I like it.
Facts.
So I hope that it continues. He just embraces the moment that he's in right now, and he continues to
Hmm.
thrive. So I'm proud of him for real, for real.
Absolutely, absolutely. Danny Palencia has been on a tear, and I hope that he keeps it up in the second half. If they really can mold that boy into a closer, like legit closer, I mean that fills a huge void for the Chicago Cubs. And then to be able to have two other guys that can step into that closer role, in Porter Hodge once he figures out his mechanics, he's injured again, and then Ryan Presley, who still showed you like after the stuff with the Giants, Ryan Presley came back and has performed amazing for the Chicago Cubs. And like I said, he has dropped his ERA immensely. He was at like a 6 a 6+ ERA, and he has dropped that back down into the low threes, which is not easy to do. That means you got to come out multiple games and get zero outs. I mean, and get zero run, allow zero runs, and he has done that, and that's something that's huge for him, that he was able to do. Big Kev, we talking about who surprised you the most this season, and obviously Tyrone picked Seiya Suzuki, and I picked Danny Palencia, who has
Yeah,
had to step into the closer role.
I picked Matthew Boyd before I left.
Yep, and then you picked Matthew Boyd before you left. So yeah, man, like I said, those are the guys that we look at that have really done their part. So I also want to talk to you guys about playoff matchups, because we assume that our Chicago Cubs are going to add on, continue this hot streak, and at worst be a wild card team in the playoffs. But we are more inclined to believe that they are going to win the Central Division this year. With that being said, what are some of the best playoff matchups that you would like the Chicago Cubs to see? Or like who's the best playoff matchup for them that you think in the first round? Somebody that might be a little bit easier to deal with. You can look at the wild card stats right now and tell me who you guys think, and then who you guys think would be the worst matchup for the Chicago Cubs to have to go against in the first round of the playoffs.
Uh, it's baseball, man. Every matchup is tough in the playoffs, bro.
No, I was just gonna say, man,
Yeah.
they all the same.
You got to listen. It don't matter. Listen, you got to get 27 outs.
Yep.
That's it. And I hate to just like make it seem like the question itself, you know what I'm saying? Like the question's a good question, but at the end of the day, the Cubs got to take care of business in the playoffs, no matter who's in front of them, whether it's the Dodgers or the Brewers or the Phillies or the Mets. It don't matter who's in front of you. You have to take care of business. And I just don't feel like there's a team that the Cubs can't beat, and I don't feel like there's a team that can't beat the Cubs. Like
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
looking at all of these guys, like all of these guys have the potential to take the Cubs out, and all of these guys have the potential to lose to the Cubs, because that's how the playoff baseball goes, bro. Like we've watched wild card teams make it to the World Series our entire lives. Well, not our entire
Yeah.
lives, because the wild card didn't always exist, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, the parity in the league with the whole wild card system. I mean, it's different, man. If you get hot in September and carried it over into October, you could definitely find yourself in a place you weren't supposed to be. Sans the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Texas Rangers a few years ago. Like neither one of them teams was supposed to be in the World Series that year, and both ran the table and ran the gauntlet and did what they did.
Yeah, man. Like you said, man. Like baseball is one of those sports where if you get hot at the right time, that momentum can lead you to the World Series. So, I wouldn't take none of these teams lightly. If I had to name a team just to book what out there, I would probably say like the Phillies, just because they
Yeah,
have veterans. They have people that's been there before, so it's not like something that's just new for them. But
yeah,
I'm treating all these motherfuckers the same. They gotta get the same smoke, all gotta get the same
yep,
belt, and we gotta treat
yep.
it like that. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta have that montage. You know what I'm saying? That nobody likes us. You know what I'm saying? No, nobody want to see us win, and we gotta beat whoever to get where we need to be at. So yeah, we can't take no team lightly going to the playoffs.
We can't take no
Absolutely,
team
absolutely not.
lightly before the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they
Yeah,
have a
yep,
1 game lead in the division, which besides the Philadelphia Phillies, who have a half a game lead, everybody else got much bigger leads than that throughout the American League and the NL League. But the Yankees only 2 games behind Toronto, but Detroit is 11 and a half up. Seattle is behind 5 on Houston. And then you got over in the West, the Padres are 5.5 games out. The Cubs cannot take anybody lightly past the All-Star break, bro.
absolutely, absolutely. It is now time to put your foot on the gas pedal and to go all out for the final 2.5 month stretch of this season. I do believe in Jed Hoyer. I do believe he is going to give Craig Counsell the pieces to manage to win with this team. And I do believe that the Chicago Cubs are going to put their best efforts forth in order to do so. Before we close out this episode, and I appreciate everybody that's in here with us. This is the longest episode I've done since I've been a part of this channel, but I really think it's been a good one. Hope you guys have enjoyed the baseball talk, and make sure that you guys comment below and let me know your thoughts on the Chicago Cubs and this first half of the season. But stock up or stock down is the name of the game. So one player or trend rising or falling. And who do you guys think is set to have a huge second half of the season? Go ahead, Tyrone.
For stock up, I'm gonna go with Dansby Swanson. Um, I feel
Okay.
like he's been playing better than he did when he started the season. He usually starts off kind of on the cold side as well. So hopefully with the little home run surge that's been happening for him for the last couple of weeks, and him thriving with runners in scoring position, that continues on into the second half, and he becomes a bigger presence in the lineup that he has been before. So I got him for the stock up, and for the stock down. I'm gonna just say, third base in general, Matt Shaw. I feel
Platoon
like
third.
exactly, but he a rookie, so that's going to happen. Like we said earlier, PCA, he didn't have it all figured out his rookie year. You know what I'm saying? He had to go back, to AAA and get his mind right as well. So, that's type of stuff that happens, but it's just unfortunate that we can't afford for that to happen in the position that we in right now. So it's a stock down for him, but it can definitely go back up in the second half.
If I'm gonna go with stock up, it's gonna be Michael Bush. He's been in and out of the lineup, but he had a strong July. 17 hits in the month of July, 5 home runs hit, and 10 RBIs. Not mad at him for that. And we need him. Like he was practically the rookie of the year for the Chicago White Cubs. I'm sorry, my bad. Chicago Cubs last season. If it wasn't for Shota Imanaga, um, he was definitely better than advertised, in my opinion. And this season, he's for whatever reason. I know that they don't want him batting against lefties, but he hit lefties well, in my opinion. Am I wrong on that? Don't he hit
Hmm.
lefties pretty well?
I mean,
So
he's figuring it out for sure.
Hell yeah.
I'm like,
Hell
come on,
yeah.
huh? Like, what we doing here?
Yeah.
But his stock is up. Stock down. It got to be your boy Kyle Tucker. Has to be.
Mm.
He's in a slump. He's brought here to hit home runs. He ain't hitting home runs. So his stock is down. That's just how I feel
Okay.
about that.
Okay. Yeah, I actually had one of my regulars that listen, Steven, was posed a question that was released on last week's episode. Like, if you knew that you could have Kyle Tucker, like basically you had a 50-50 shot of signing Kyle Tucker at in the offseason, would you trade him for like a Paul Skeens or somebody like that if he was up for a deal or something like that? And I had to really ponder on that, and I said initially no, but then I went back and I was like, it depends on the deal, because the right deal for like some really really good like a starting pitching, like a Paul Skeens or something like that. I
You
mean,
could trade me. You could trade me for Paul
I'm about to say they're not trading. They're not
home.
trading Paul Skeens, bro. Never gonna happen.
But yeah,
yeah,
I get what you're saying. But yeah, but
yeah. So, okay. So for me, for stock up, I'm going to go with I'm going to go Ian Happ. I know that a lot of people are down on Ian Happ right now. I know that he's been struggling, but Ian Happ to me has always been a second half type of player. He's still going to get you that Gold Glove defense out there in left field, but I really think his bat finds its way too, and he ends the season with at least 25 to 26 home runs, and driving in at least around 80 to 90 RBIs. I think he's very very well, very very capable of that. Now, the key to this is where is Ian Happ hitting in the batting order? If you keep the batting order where Michael Bush hits first against righties, and you do Nico Horner against lefties like you did in the last two games, I like Ian Happ hitting up higher in the lineup and I mean in the batting order at the 6, 7, 8 spot, because to me you're not catching pitchers' best stuff in that part of the lineup, and you're not giving them any rest. And he's able to see what Say is getting, what Kyle's getting, what PCA is getting, what Carson Kelly is getting, what guys like that are getting. And I just like I said, I think that he's going to be able to show you more of what he's able to do when he's at the back end of that lineup, especially if you get another power hitter at third base, like a Gino Suarez, Eugenio Suarez from the Diamondbacks. If you put him right after PCA or right before PCA, right after Seiya Suzuki, bro, that's a death lineup, especially at Wrigley. So I mean, I think we're in for a fun second half. I think Ian Happ is going to show you guys some things in the second half, and really prove and solidify why he is the stalwart here for the Chicago Cubs. And then stock down. I'm gonna go. I think that we are poised to potentially probably see not so good work from Colin Ray. No, what? No, I take that back. Not Colin Ray. I'm in Brad Keller. One of our bullpen pieces that has been really really good. He's been trending down lately, unfortunately. In his last two appearances, he's given up 3 runs each. In his last appearances, he has struggled to find his strike zone, and he's struggled to be able to get outs. And the Chicago Cubs need him to do that. He has looked great for the first 2 months of the season, but in this last month, he just has trended downward and fallen out of the tree of trust with Craig Counsell, which I think will end up finding him getting cleanup time when either the game is out of reach for the Cubs or out of reach for the other team. But I don't think in high leverage situations you're going to see Brad Keller get that many opportunities like he was getting in the past to hold leads or anything like that. So Chicago Cubs also are rumored to go get more pitching too, more bullpen help as well. So he might not even be a part of the team. We'll see.
We'll see. Listen, the Cubs got work to do. I mean, it's been a great first half, but they have work to do, Jack. It's not, they can't just coast or sail into it. And the Chicago White Sox had the 20-year celebration this past weekend of the 2005 World Series, and in that season, they had a 15 game lead shrink down to one in the
Wow.
season. We don't want to see that with the. I mean, it's a 1 game lead right now, but we don't want to see them start the month of August off or the rest of July off hot, get a 7, 8 game lead, and then let it shrink back down. Go out there and put the pedal to the metal, fellas. This team has what it takes to make it deep into the postseason, if not to the promised land, to pay dirt. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Tyrone, you got any last thoughts?
Yeah, y'all both hit the nail on the offer, man. We gotta not be nonchalant. We gotta actually, take what we got and go further. We only got a 1 game lead. Um, get get the players that we need to take us over that hill. If we got to give up some prospects, do it. You know what I'm saying? And just still have that forward thinking mind. You know what I'm saying? If we don't give up the prospect, a key prospect, it has to be somebody that's going to benefit us this year and next year as well. But if that can happen, go ahead and do it. I don't want no constraints. I don't want us being cheap. I don't want us nickel and diamond. Like, we have a good team. We have potential franchise pillars on the team. Get us the starting pitching we need. Get us the relief that we need. Get us a third damn baseman, and let's see where this team can take us. So I like what we seen first half, but I want to see way, way more second half.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Like I say, I do think Jed Hoyer will do that for this team, and yeah, man. Like I said, we are looking at potentially, hopefully, we all do this again at the end of the season, and we're talking about the Chicago Cubs winning the World Series, right?
Hey, that'll be the best thing.
No, for
Yep,
real.
yep. Yep. Like I said, yeah, we on here reviewing, doing end of the season review and talking about the Chicago Cubs winning it all because they have the talent to. I truly believe they have the talent to do it, but they'll have even more talent once they add on more. And again, like I said, I have every inclination to believe that Jay Hoyer is going to add on more and give Craig Counsell the tools he needs to lead this team. Now, that's another thing. Craig can't wet the bed because he did it a bunch with the Brewers. He can't wet the bed when it comes to the postseason either, and make some dumbass decisions that's gonna cost the team because he will get flamed for it because he's the highest paid manager in the MLB. So he has to do his part too.
Amen.
Yep. So that's our episode for today, y'all. We appreciate each and every last one of you that have tuned in to Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. Listen, make sure that you guys join in on the conversation below. Make sure you guys leave comments where we talk about each topic. We want to know from you guys what you think about this. Please make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe. If you love the Chicago Cubs like we love the Chicago Cubs, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. 217-816-5498 is your opportunity to leave a voicemail. We do voice bag episodes. And then, of course, we also want you to write us at cubsbaseball1992@gmail.com. Guys, listen, we have flown the W 57 times before the All-Star break. We're looking to hit that over 100 mark because we're going to make sure the Chicago Cubs win this division, hopefully maybe even win the NL and get a first-round bye even. Man, that would be sweet heading into the postseason. But listen, my brothers, I appreciate y'all for taking some time out of y'all busy schedules, man, coming and doing this with me. This has been a lot of fun. I want to get you guys back. We're going to do some live call episodes together here in the second half of the season, too.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on. Good meeting you, Kev, and definitely want to do this again on the second half. So I'm with it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
As long
Absolutely.
as it's not an hour and 2 minutes, I'm down. I'm good.
All right, y'all. Until next time, go Cubs, go. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the number one spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.